seen how the ordinary, everyday person deals with the STD, it's time to check in with the professional flyer. Please welcome from the U.S. military base, Peter Calhoun. He's going to show us how he uses the rocket pack for the U.S. military. Thanks for being with us here today, Pete.
Thank you for having me on the show.
So, Pete, I hear you have the record for the most miles traveled using the STD. How many miles have you traveled?
Actually, I've lost the official count, but I've traveled somewhere between 80 and 90 miles with the single transport device.
Wow, that's a lot of miles. How many times have you flown this product?
253 times.
Wow, you really seem to know what you're doing. So tell me, how does this STD help the U.S. military?
We are trying to do research with this device to find a way that we can efficiently use it with our military personnel. We're hoping that one day every soldier will be able to use a device like this one to give them an edge on the battlefield.
Well, have you found ways to use this device with the military personnel yet? Yes. That's what I thought you'd say. Because this device is so handy, who wouldn't be able to use it? So, Pete, can you show us how to operate the STD after you've gotten it in standby mode?
Yes, I can. Just let me get it started first. Okay, now that I have it in standby mode, we can engage the thrusters by pushing this button over here. Well, that's strange. Usually gives me lift. Getting hot in here?
Well, folks, it looks like our good friend Peter had to step out for a bit. So let's now bring back our good friend, Dr. Bob Kink. Dr. Bob, can you finally show us how to operate the STD after you've got it on standby mode?
Well, I'll start here with the accelerator button.
Can you just point it out to us so our home viewers can see?
Okay, good idea. Now, with the single transport device in the standby mode, you gotta hit the accelerator button to get lift. Now, be careful because the emergency shut-off switch is right next to the accelerator button. Now, if you're in lift and you hit the emergency shut-off switch, then you gotta wait for a 5-minute reset period to get the lift back.
So what do you do after you get lift?
Well, you gotta keep pressing the accelerator button to get higher and faster, and you gotta push the decelerator button to lower your speed and height. And if you want to steer, you gotta force your shoulders all around and left and right. And then you gotta go this way.
I believe we have some live footage of someone taking off with the STD. Let's see how smooth sailing it really is. See, she's getting ready. She's about to take off. And there she goes, folks.
Well, that was a thing of beauty, wasn't it?
It sure was. And now I'm being told that we have live footage of her flight. Would you look at that, folks? She still has a smile on her face.
Well, I'm very happy to know I finally found a way to please the woman.
Well, thanks for joining us, Dr. Bob. Well, folks, we're about out of time, so let me remind you to go ahead and order your STD now. Something like this won't come for another 10 to 20 years.
I finally caught me an STD.
Get back here! Security! Well, folks, once they're gone for good. So I suggest you call and order now. That number again is 1-800-555-OOPS. Our operators are still standing by. Well, folks, it seems I just got some bad news. It looks like we've sold out of the limited edition helmets that we were showing you at the beginning of this program. Don't let the same thing happen to you with your STDs, so call and order one now. Well, folks, let's check back with our rocket pack tester and see how she's doing. She still has a smile on her face, ladies and gentlemen. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in to Buzzworld. I'm your host, Bartholomew Peabody III. Professor Bartholomew Peabody III. Join us next time as we show you some more treasures just for you. This product has been approved by Peabody.
Buzzworld and the makers of the single transport device are not responsible for any injuries or deaths suffered while using this device. The makers of the single transport device would like to state that they had no choice in the host for this program. Buzzworld would like to state that they only hired this host because they could pay him in hair gel. Use at your own risk. Buzzworld.